Hello and welcome to my knife channel. Well, what I have here is Rough Ryder's version of a TL-29, and I'm basically going to compare it to a Camillus TL-29. And yeah, this one has just recently been added back to Smoky Mountain Knife Works catalog. One of the differences you can see right away is this one is a bone handle and this one is not. I don't know exactly what this is. It doesn't feel like Darylin, and it's not Bakelite. I don't know if it's an early version of G10. But let's get back to this guy. The shield right here says "Be prepared," which I always thought was like kind of a Boy Scout motto, like always be prepared. Get this stupid thing to focus. It's dyed black in the bone, but it's kind of marble looking on this side. On the other side, it's more almost, an enamel, color looking to it. This thing has a ring or a stripe, thread, whatever you want to call it, whereas this one doesn't. You can see there's one main pin showing here. This one here, you've got like covered pin showing that it doesn't have it on here. Those fitted fairly well. I think this thing is like $11. I mean, it's one of the least expensive ones you can get out there. Alright, so let's look at the main blade. This is from the Coal Miner series. It has a Spear Master blade on it. Let's see if we can zoom this guy in some. Rough Ryder with a Y. The little mirror, I like that kind of like... I think the best one I like is the horseshoe one with the guy and everything, but it's hard to get that detail if it doesn't stamp completely right. You can't even always tell. Alright, so let's take a look at the oldie here. The 2 is a Spear Master blade. It has one of these deep, I like these nail nicks better. You can just get into them. You see that's all substantial up here. Here these, like, they're not quite as deep. And this knurling, this match strike stuff just limits the ability of you can get more of your thumb in these type. I don't have any problem opening this. I'm just saying it's, one of the differences. And of course, they got to put Coal Miner on here where this is just patina. But if you compare the blades, I mean, other than the nail nick, they're almost identical. It's almost, like they copied one of these. Alright, let's look at the differences. Now, where it changes up is in the secondary blade. Let's zoom back here some. There we go. Where it changes up on the Rough Riders is the secondary blade is different. And I think it's an improvement on the Rough Rider one. You have this scallop cut out here, which helps when you have round wires and stuff, when you're stripping wires. And then you have a sharpened edge all the way up to here until you get to the screwdriver portion where it's dull. Now with the Camillus one, again, it has that deep, really easy to get into nail nick. The back springs on this particular Camillus is a lot stronger. You have this cutout here, but you don't have one here on this end. And the sharpening goes about, for some reason it's a little bit sharp up here. It should be like, this should be like the screwdriver portion. And you have a flat portion right here. Let's see if we can't zoom this in. You have a flat portion right here, which is not sharpened at all. So that's the difference on that one. Of course, it locks in like this. Now you see on this one, I think this is a better design, actually. There's a little bit of a crowning here, you know, where you got like a dual bevel kind of thing going on. That looks kind of cool. Decent, you know, flathead screwdriver portion. But this right here is fairly sharp. I mean, like I said, with wire stripping, it's good to have a sharp portion. If you know what you're doing, you got to just basically stop. You got to know when to stop cutting when you're cutting copper wires, because steel will cut through copper. And like I said, the more threads you cut, the more copper strands you reduce, the higher resistance you're getting through your wire, because it's rated for so many strands of copper wire. And if you're cutting one strand off, even if it's only a little portion of it, where you join it at, that technically could be where it heats up and causes resistance and stuff like that, inefficiencies. All right, so other than that, and they both have these locking things on the main wire stripper screwdriver. I believe this handle is thicker. We're about to find out. All right, does that say absolute over there? Because I don't know. It's just at inches. Well, just doing that, it messes me up. 0.63. About there in the middle. Let's try this guy. Yeah, 0.55. We'll switch over to millimeters. 14 millimeters on this one and 16.2 on this one. So the covers are a little bit thicker on this one. The fitting on this one is, I mean, it's functional, but there's just like a deep drop right here, whereas all this is smooth. You know, the covers are smooth. But functional. Same kind of bail. Both have a bail. This one just got a little swedge on a little bit further, but does the same thing. Like I said, they're almost identical between each two, other than these minor differences. So these kind of knives are handy to carry around as just like a little tool type of knife. If you don't have you've got a main spear point blade, which will work on a lot of stuff. It's non-locking, but I mean, when you put your hand in here, this little riser right here doesn't cause a hot spot for me. It actually falls in the finger joint. And yeah, it's just a pretty decent little knife. So there you go. This is a little comparison. Oh yeah, we forgot to weigh them. We got to do the weigh-in. When fights happen, you know, they weigh in first before they fight. This one, we're weighing them afterwards. See what happens to them after they've been fighting it out. One of these days. One of these days. Jeez. That was like extra long. We're going to ounces first. 3.595 for the Rough Ryder. 3.820. It's probably the scales. Let's check the blade thickness. I forgot to check that. Oh yeah, we want to go tear yourself up. We want to go Grammys also. So for the Rough Ryder, the grammage is 101.95. I can't see the decimal point from this angle. And this one is 108. So 7 grams more. And let's check the blade thickness, blade stock. Since we're in millimeters, we'll check millimeters first. 2.77. Just check it down here. Tapers down to 2.45. So if I was to check this, the whole thing, 0.72 millimeter. Switch back to inches. 10 thousandths. 9 thousandths. 8 thousandths. Alright, let's go to this guy. Main blade. Close you up. We don't need you out. One exposed blade at a time. Alright, let's check over here. 0.09. So yeah, this is a little bit thinner blade stock, but not by much. .46 millimeter and 2.22. Let's check this guy again in metric. 2.72 and 2.47. So yeah, slight differences, but not by much. And basically, if you want to get a TL-29, there you go. I think this is the least expensive one I've seen. If there's any cheaper ones. Now, Marbles has got a version like this that also, I think, has a Phillips screwdriver on the end. I've got it hiding here somewhere. I put it in a kit because I'm getting more military gear. You know, like, you know how it starts. You get like a Polish canteen. And of course, you've got to have the Polish mess kit to go with it. This was like 1985. And then if you got a Polish mess kit, well, you got to get a Polish bread bag to go with it. So yeah, I've been getting more bushcrafty military gear type of stuff. Surplus canteens and stuff like that. So I might throw one of those in there once in a while, especially when there's not a lot of knives coming in. So thanks for watching and have a nice day. Oh, look at all this thing fuzzy. Can't go out all blurry. Can't go out blurry-eyed. This guy's blurry-eyed over here, but he's always blurry-eyed. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.